Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Soul Guidance with Dipti. This is our new moon portal. I am a tarot consultant, a deep transformation coach, a counselor, and a therapist. We use the movement of the moon to try and dwell deeper into our own minds and understand those aspects of our psyche that we can really work consciously using the wisdom of the tarot. I invite you to ground yourself, center yourself, and cleanse yourself with a couple of deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Just choosing to be present completely to try and understand what energies in the cosmos during this week of the new moon are going to support us on our journey of self evolution. What new things can we really embrace this particular week? Spirit, please show us what are the energies that really we can work with to be better versions of ourselves. Those aspects that need conscious consideration. Spirit, please show us. All right. So what we're seeing is this week, this new moon is very auspicious for a new start. So the past few portals, we've been seeing the energy of the purge, the closing of the old cycles, and there have been many things that we've been experiencing collectively and individually. And this particular new moon marks the start of something afresh. So, if you've been able to really understand where your ego comes in the way of your own personal development, and if you've been able to befriend your ego and work with it with consciousness, you have been able to find a way out of that solution, of the situation that you've been stuck in for the longest of times. So, this particular week shows us that it's a new beginning, it's a territory where you can chart new behaviors. And this particular new start is going to usher in a lot of love. Spirit is also showing us that we should try and feel a lot of love for the process that we've been through. There could have been times where you could have blown up. There could have been times where you could have multiple meltdowns. There could have been times where it wasn't easy for you to have a conversation with somebody and reclaim your power. But love yourself for having gone through the pain of growth, gone through the pain of that self transition. And if you can really feel a lot of love for the people in your life, for the situations in your life, it's really going to change. So, this is showing me that there is the beginning of new love. Possibly singles who are out and looking for people to converge into something meaningful, people that you've been connected with for quite some time and you've been contemplating getting together or committing to each other. I see that happening for singles in that space at this point in time. And for people at workplaces, I'm saying that there's a partnership coming up, there is collaboration. So things are now beginning to flow in your favor. There are clear indications and clear signs that the light of the source or the benevolence of the creator is now beginning to flow into our lives, and this Love is going to bring a lot of prosperity and a lot of abundance, especially in terms of the physical support structures in our lives. So there is definitely a new beginning of that, and this is coming together of the elements of water and earth together combining with fire and air. That means this has been a process of very deep alchemy, very deep transformation. And with that consolidated effort, with that stable core, now you are available to make a fresh new start and launch yourself further ahead in your journey. And this journey is going to be really blessed with a lot of love. And this journey is not a journey of doing it all alone by yourself, but rather with the help and support of those around you. And if you need that support, you have to work on being expressive, being vocal about in which format do you think the support would matter to you and how you would want them to support you in your life. Similarly, if you're feeling that your cup is really full and you are able bodied mentally, physically, and emotionally to be out there for people in your life, this is a good time for you to have those conversations with your loved one and understand how is it that they can make the most with your support in their life. So this is a coming together of dual energies and holding space for purity to flow, that particular consciousness. And when you do that, I'm really seeing that you will feel very empowered. You will feel in your authority, whichever energy centers are defined and which are the signature essence of your soul, you will actually be able to navigate from that core of authority. And when you do that, you will feel a lot more stable. You'll feel a lot of very stable founded grounds. Okay. And I'm also seeing that a lot of purging and the clearing that was happening for most people was centered around authority figures. So if you've had people in your life who've constantly been trying to control you through authority, this is where things have started to change now. Now you've grown to a place where you are reclaiming your authority, and your relationship with those authority figures is now transitioning slowly. And when you are actually going through this transition, there's a lot of love that needs to be practiced for that authoritarian figure for that matter. And if you identify yourself with somebody as being that authoritarian figure, then possibly you've been really reflecting back the past few days, few weeks on how you are as a person and how possibly you've tried to push your way through things in life for others and trying to dictate and control them. And possibly this is a time where it's bringing you to the greater consciousness and it's making you aware that if you have to really operate from your own personal authority, which means that you have to hold space for people to go through their life without your need to control their life, without your need to dictate their life, without the control mechanisms that you've set in place. So this is a great learning curve for you as an authoritarian figure as well. And I'm really seeing that this week is a week of really transitioning this power from a divine masculine authoritarian figure in your life. So it could be a parent, especially relationships between fathers and their children, or relationships between siblings. So it could be between a brother and a sister, or relationships between spouses. And in situations where sometimes the divine feminine the mother figure has been the authoritarian figure, even in those cases, this reading really holds through, and it is a similar message that's really coming through. And we are going to find occasions where we are going to see that our heart chakra possibly feels a little constricted, it feels a little held back, it feels a little blocked out. So you have to take initiative to be able to open up that heart chakra, and then for that you have to try and see what works for you. If you are somebody who has been experiencing re-wounding of your inner child while you do the purging and the self-work, then possibly choosing to spend time with children can be very healing. It can really help you open your heart and nourish the child within you. So that can really help you open your heart. Or if you found yourself being very constricted and confined by the grief that has been surfacing up, cry if you may, and then after that, at least try and gather yourself again and make a little phone call and reach out to people with whom you can simply hang out over a coffee or a game of cards, or just sit and read together, or go out on a walk in nature, which can be extremely healing. So if you're going to find yourself stuck, where your heart energy feels blocked out, where you cannot connect with the love in your heart, you're finding it difficult to feel that compassion for yourself, feel compassion for others, it's likely to be happening, and it's happening for a purpose, because when that happens, that means you are then moving further down into your center, which is below the heart center, and you are conjuring all the energies from your solar plexus, and you're taking action around opening your heart center. So there's a massive shift, because earlier when you were blocked out in the heart, it would really block out the entire lower portal to the lower energy centers. But because of the transition that has really happened, you've come to a place where, despite feeling a little blocked out in your heart center, you are now able to leverage a little bit of that fire energy in the solar plexus and make a little bit of difference, have that difficult conversation, make that first phone call, and pull yourself out of that place of grief and suffering and darkness, feeling it and not just bypassing it for that matter. So this new moon is actually a very powerful start of sorts, and it's in the midst of a lot of collective purging that has been happening. If you really see it out being played in the world right now, there's so much that we can really reflect back upon and try and see what the authority figures, what the organizations that run the world, what are they really feeding onto us, and can we really hold space for ourselves to decode what is being sent our way, and not blindly choose to follow the narrative that's really coming through. So being able to decode that from a place of your heart energy, trying to use your own personal authority and trying to really engage in those aspects, and where you feel it's really hard for you to be part of any of it, what you can really do is you can really try and open up your heart. Because if you do your own personal work and you really move from a place of separation to a place of unity consciousness within your own personal heart, you are actually making way for that love to play out in the universe as well. So how much love are you holding out for whatever's happening, and not really bringing yourself down into a place of separation consciousness? Again, our relationship with those authoritarian figures out in the world is what is coming up big time for us to reflect. So if we see all of these activations have so much around it, that we can really start journaling and gleaning much more than what I really share in these video messages. Thank you for taking time to connect with this divine guidance. May I just simply, even hearing it out, start bringing in deeper changes in your conscious, subconscious, and supraconscious mind. If you'd like to book a personal reading, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm wishing all of us a great new moon week with a lot of new love flourishing and pouring into our lives. Until we meet again, namaste.